Hey everybody, welcome to Ben's Blades. I hope you're all doing really well. Today, we're going to tear apart this knife right here. This is the Microtech standard issue. We're going to tear it apart, clean it up, and do some much needed upgrades on it. Coming up next. Alrighty then, the Microtech standard issue. I have a feeling I'm going to say Microtech MSI in this video a couple times. MSI just stands for, well, Microtech Standard Issue, so to say Microtech MSI is kind of like saying hot water heater. It's a little bit redundant, but in any case, I digress. Let's see if I can flick this open on camera. Yeah, there we go. This one is the Polymer handle version in Coyote Brown. This one actually has, if you can see it right there, try to get the light off of it. It is their 30th anniversary logo, which is totally cool. M390MK, because Microtech are a bunch of crybabies and they think they have to have their own special version of M390, but whatever. I'm joking, obviously. They can do whatever they want. My biggest problem with this knife is the Coyote Brown handles. For those of you who are watching my videos who don't know, I am active duty United States Air Force and have been for 14 years. So I see Coyote Brown everywhere. Coyote Brown boots, Coyote Brown backpacks, Coyote Brown body armor. And I am so fucking sick of it that I just want to throat punch somebody whenever I see it. So these scales have got to come off because I cannot stand Coyote Brown. Cannot stand it in the slightest. Let's talk about the knife really quickly. This is one of those knives that it's one of those things where, how do I say this? It's a prime example of I didn't fully understand how big it was until I got it in my hand. That's exactly what she said. Straight to my face. It was pretty glorious, actually, but whatever. This is a huge knife, 3 3/4 inch blade. I mean, there are bigger knives out there, but still, with my medium-sized hands, I've got more than enough room, especially if I choke up on this thing. Even the regular grip back here is just like, holy crap, do I have room. It's so big, in fact, that I'm going to do a quick size comparison, even though it's not something I normally do. Here it is next to the Demco MGAD20, which is a big-ass knife of its own. And as you can see, it's even slightly longer than the MG8020 from Demco. So this particular 8020 was a Knife Joy exclusive Bowie, for those who are curious. Out of production, obviously, and who knows when it'll be back around, but nice knife nonetheless. Put another way, here it is against the Zero Tolerance 0561. Big sumbitch. So this is a big knife any way you look at it. I mean, just look at that. It's almost exactly the same size as the ZT0561. It's kind of crazy. So if you're thinking about getting a Microtech MSI, and you don't like big knives with 3 1/4 or even 4 inch blades, or 3 3/4, excuse me, 3 3/4 inch blade or bigger, then you might want to reconsider this knife because it's a big one. It is a ram lock, of course, which is substantially similar to the Spyderco Mannix lock or the Benchmade Anthem lock. It's essentially a crossbar lock that uses a coil spring instead of an Omega spring. So there's that. All right, enough talking. Let's tear it apart. Before we do, let's do the usual blade behavior. We have a blade that is fall shut without any problem at all. We have 0 up and down or side-to-side blade play, and the blade is dead center. Good stuff. We do have some weird mark on this. Not sure if you can see that, but it's just like a weird... right there. It's like almost like a factory second mark or something like that, even though I paid full price for that. I think I got this from Blade HQ for about $170. I'm terrible at mentioning where I got knives or how I paid for them. I'm going to try to get better at that. But I think I'm just going to go straight to a T15 for this because that is a big pivot. So let's see. Yeah. And then, I don't know why I just put that away. T8, I'm guessing for everything else. Yep. So T10 and T8. I have a bad feeling about this. I have a feeling I should have watched somebody else's YouTube video before I started cracking into this. But we're just going to full send it and see what happens. Hold on to your blades. And we are not free spinning, even though we have a T10 on the other side. So it managed not to free spin. That's awesome. Let's go to the T8. For those of you who are curious, this is an out-of-production CountyComm titanium driver. They do make a titanium driver still, but it doesn't look like this. It's not quite as good, in my personal opinion. So when this driver finally takes a crap, whenever that is, I'm going to be bummed because I love this driver. So, while I'm taking this apart, let's talk about what we're going to do to it. We're going to put Skiff Bearings in it, because of course we are. The unfortunate fact is that I am a Skiff man-whore, and for some reason I have to put Skiff Bearings in everything. And this knife is no exception. It looks like we have the slightest amount of Loctite on each screw, which is nice. I personally do not use Loctite if I can help it. I use Loctite very rarely. I pretty much only use it when I've got like Hinderer or Chris Reeve knives where the body screws or the pivot won't stay put. Then I might use Loctite, but I pretty much never use it if I can get away with it. Okay, and it looks like we have kind of a Benchmade style locking system as far as like you have this like liners that house the crossbar lock. And here are the inside of the Polymer scales from Microtech. We are going to go to Original Goat. Polygoat scales in black. So we're not really upgrading the knife all that much. We're going from polymer to polymer. So we're not really getting that much of a build quality upgrade out of this knife. But in any case, I'm going to break it because that's what I do on this channel. Whenever I get rid of my old scales and they're anything short of G10, I'm going to fucking break it because I hate them with a fiery passion. So that's exactly what we're going to do. And as soon as I get this other one off, I'm going to break that son of a bitch too. Okay. Now, I think... How do I get this the rest of the way apart? I think I have to take apart the rest of the knife. So let's go ahead and do that. That's weird. The bit was stuck to the screw. Okay. So normally you'd see me put a Lynch Northwest clip on my knife because I love Lynch Northwest pocket clips. But in this case, we have a pocket clip that I actually don't hate. It's a really nice pocket clip, actually. So, nothing wrong with this guy. It's a rare occurrence when you get a pocket clip that's just like, you know what, I can live with that. Let's just go ahead and keep that. Okay. And there goes the backspacer. Good stuff. And then one more T8. We have epic amounts of screws, which can be good or bad depending on how you look at it. Well, I think... Let me try backing this down. Yep. Sure as shit. Oh boy, that's under a little bit of tension still. So let me... Oh, it just slides right out. Okay. All right. This might actually end up being easier than I thought. All right, I'm going to release the tension on the blade and just slide that right off. And then I'm going to pull the pivot the rest of the way out, which is free spinning. It's not captive. And then there goes the blade stop pin. And then this piece should just slide right out of there. There we go. So we have a blade stop pin, but we also have basically what amounts to a lock stop pin that holds it into place, and that's where the screws go in to keep the ram lock in place. Cool, so I'm learning as I go. Okay, we have to break the scale. Ooh, that one was harder. Okay. Away with you, you sack of shit. Okay. So, let's go ahead and look at the, these are Skiff 20 ball bearings. If I can get it to focus. I'm not sure if that's going to focus for you or not. Let me look. There we go. Finally. So this is what you need for the Microtech MSI. And we'll go ahead and compare really quickly, but these are the 20 ball upgrades. So instead of what looks like either ceramic or steel encased in plastic, we have ceramic encased in phosphor bronze. And there you have it. I think we're still having a higher ball count. It definitely looks like it. I'm not going to sit here and count them on camera, but it definitely does look like it. Okay, so these can go away forever. Now, let's go ahead and take the Slip 2000 725, and we're going to go ahead and spray that, and we're going to clean up all these parts. Just get them to a blank slate of cleanliness. If I can pick this up, there we go. Just gonna cover that up a little bit. Oh, interesting. So the coil spring just comes right out, and you can clean that up without a lot of trouble either. So that is awesome stuff. I think I just bumped the microphone there, my bad. So the Slip 2000 725, for those of you who don't know, is a water-based cleaner, and it does a really good job of getting rid of oil and grease and stuff like that was on the knife. And so you'll go to, like I said, a clean slate of cleanliness. Now you will have to re-oil any parts that really need to be oiled, because otherwise they're going to run way too dry. I'm actually going to LPS the blade right now rather than doing it at the end. Use the LPS 2 for the blade. You know, because this is the business end of the knife, I tend to use a little bit extra protection and make sure that there is plenty of protection and lubrication in places where it matters. Now, this pocket clip, clean that up. Clean up this guy. And I think we're just about ready to put everything back together. What is the best way to do this? Probably to partially assemble it. We actually might be getting a slight upgrade to the feel and the build quality, because as you can see, these are hollowed out polymer, but the Poly Goat from Original Goat, those are not. It's much more solid. So we might be getting an upgrade in how the knife feels. Here's the Original Goat logo. I'm not sure if you can see that. So, you know what I think I'll do is I'm going to try to put one side back together, and we'll see what happens. Let me do this side. Actually, let me see here. This side. I'm going to do this side first, because that's where the pivot needs to go. And I am going to... Actually, I lied. This is a captive pivot. It's just kind of hard to see. But it is an ever so slightly captive pivot. All right, let's do the ALG Go Juice, which is in this bottle right here. And I'm just going to dab a little bit on here so that the pivot kind of glides along these surfaces with a little bit of slickness. Now, the bearings. I am going to go ahead and put the Go Juice right here in a couple spots, just a touch. Then slide the bearings on, then slide the blade on. Because I don't think this is like a Benchmade where you have to put the whole module back together in order to get things into place. I think you can pretty much put it together almost any way you want. There we go. Let me screw the blade stop pin in. Get in there. Get in there. There you go. Good boy. All right. I just want this blade stop pin not to fall out. So, screw that into place. And then I'm going to go ahead and screw in, well, maybe, I don't know if I'm going to screw in the ram lock yet or not. I put the coil spring back in, And then I think it has to go this way. Yeah. This part's going to be interesting, because it's going to need to be under a lot of spring tension to get that back in. You know what I'm going to do? Where's my painter's tape? I'm going to tape the pivot down, because every time I pick it up, the pivot wants to come out. So I'm going to tape that down. It seems to be the thing that works best for me. Okay, now slide that in if I can. I don't want to scrape the liners up. Well, now we have a problem that I can't get the lock stop pin to seat, so I might have to screw it in and then try to put the ram lock back in a different way. Okay, let me see if I can just put this under spring tension and just slide it. There we go. Awesome stuff. My dumbass. It's upside down. Oh. Okay. That was embarrassing. Actually, while I got that on or off, that's a good excuse to put some Go Juice on the pivot and work that in so the blade can have some lubrication. Good thing I figured that out, otherwise that would have went on there without it. Okay. Right side up this time. Here we go. There. Excellent stuff. Now I think the hard part is basically over. I am actually going to have parts left over because it doesn't appear that I need these inserts for the pocket clip side. That's kind of cool. I'm not sure how I feel about these screws going directly into polymer, but I guess the solution to that is don't take your pocket clip on and off a crap load of times and you won't wear out the threads on the polymer. There goes the other skiff bearing. Great stuff. Now, what am I missing? Oh yeah, the back spacer. So probably better to screw that in from one side. I think I'm going to have to do that actually. Well, I'm trying to get this on camera and do it with all the screws seated at once, but probably better to just do one. Let's do the middle one first. Okay. Now we're going to do this one. Just some tight screws. The Torx bit barely fits in here. Okay. And I think we are pretty much good to go with that. Let's put the polymer scale on the other side, like so. So already it's looking like a better knife, in my personal opinion. I knew I was forgetting something. I looked at it and I was like, something doesn't feel right. And it's because I put the scale on without the liner. So that's an easy fix. There we go. It always seems to work better when you screw down the or close the blade partially. So, okay. All right, now everything feels right. I was just like, something doesn't feel right. What the hell is going on? Well, that's what's going on, you idiot. You didn't see that. Shut up. I tried to put a screw on the Torx bit when there was a screw on it already. So many screws that go in this thing. It's wild. Okay. Let's take the painter's tape off of this. And now the T10 pivot should probably go in next. Make that snug. It doesn't need to be perfect. And let's just close this thing, and we're dead center. See that? Sometimes things just go according to plan. It feels like $1,000,000 too. Okay, now the pocket clip. With a T8 bit, that would be ideal. Painter's tape on me. Okay. Let's get this, screw this down into the polymer. Oh, you have to do this mess. Because the bit won't fit through the hole. Well, then I should probably do it with both of them before I screw it down, because then the other one will never go on. Oh boy, this is going to be annoying. Okay. Well, what's the best way to do this? Probably, I'm going to try to get one of them just screwed down in just slightly. And then see if the other one will ease in a little more easily from the side. And then I'm having the issue of the bit is magnetized, and so it's pulling the screw out where I don't want it. Sometimes these things are just finicky. You know what I mean? Okay. So now we have a screw that's at least not going anywhere. And then probably easier to slide this in like that. Let the bit grab it. Oh, come on. I'm going to try just screwing it in and then rotating the pocket clip over. Maybe that's the trick to it. So when you got it like that, you just kind of... No, it has to go on like this. Watch me struggle with this for like a half an hour. Come on. It's almost kind of a good thing that it's magnetizing to the bit, because then at least I can grab onto it. And if I hold my nose just right... Oh, come on. Microtech, why? There are so many easier ways to do this. Like, why did you do this? One second. All right, we're back. I had to swap out batteries because my camera battery was almost dead. I still don't know how I'm going to get this screw in here. Because maybe I can screw it in peripherally a little bit. And I just don't know how I'm going to get that in there. Unless I can get the magnetized part of this to grab onto the... Yeah, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Maybe if I try this. Just kind of let it work its way into place. There we go. Microtech, come on. You guys can do better than that. So you can easily strip these things. I just have it snug. Snug is perfectly fine. There is no reason to over tighten this because you are screwing steel into polymer for whatever that's worth. But look at that. You know, now we have this shiny polymer black knife. Awesome stuff. Look at that. That's sexy looking, not gonna lie. I kind of dig that. Good stuff from Original Goat. I had these on pre-order for a while, and they finally built them and finally shipped them to me, so this isn't something they have in stock just all the time. You're gonna have to wait for production runs whenever you buy stuff from them. But as far as rigidity, I do feel like we have a more rigid handle now, more rigid scales. I don't think we gained much in terms of smoothness, but we definitely still have higher quality bearings, so not really that big of an issue there. I mostly just like how it looks now. I think this is a much better looking knife that I can live with. Like I said, I hate coyote brown or like flat dark earth colored scales. Eventually, I'm going to have to do this guy right here. I'm going to have to replace the scales on this one with something else too, just because I cannot stand coyote brown or flat dark earth. I see it too much and I'm just over it. So, but there you go. That is one awesome, sick looking knife now. 30th anniversary blade from Microtech. Microtech Standard Issue, MSI, whatever you want to call it. There you have it. That was a good build, and I loved that. Questions, comments, put them in the comment section of the video. Otherwise, until next time, this is Ben from Ben's Blades telling you, carry a knife. You'll thank yourself later. I'll see you next time.